discrepàncies que hi ha entre les actituds que més o menys s'han tingut a tot arreu, sobretot aquesta sensació de viure permanentment a crèdit, per dir-ho així, i que ha donat com a resultat una situació francament compromesa, malgrat l'optimisme que diu tenir el senyor Ammerman, que jo també soc optimista, però el que penso és que segurament el que tindrem és un problema a llarg termini i es produiran diferents velocitats segurament a l'hora de sortir de la crisi. En tot cas, alguna pregunta que es vulguin fer? Els prometo que els demanaré els PowerPoints per poder-los penjar a la pàgina web de la Fundació i així la gent podrà veure'ls amb tranquil·litat i analitzar-los amb tranquil·litat. Digueu el nom, sisplau. Yes, please.
My name is Miquel Abasman. The question is for Miranda. In the gross solution for the debt, my question is, assuming that you restructure the debt, how do you address the fact that all these countries, and also Spain, they're running consistent current account deficits? And how would you manage to put them growing again beyond the problem of the debt? I mean, in my scenario, I don't see how even without a debt, most of these countries can grow sustainably. Perhaps because it's just simply impossible to be in the same club as Germany with the same currency in the long term, I mean, looking beyond the sovereign crisis.
Debt reduction is not a substitute for reform, it's a complement. And in the case of Greece, just dealing with the debt would be dealing with the symptom, not with the cause. The cause is what I described, the bloated public sector and its interventions in the economy that will continue to generate debt, even if the debt is completely forgiven. Without reform, Greece will be back to square one sooner or later. So I want to make it very clear that debt restructuring is not a substitute for reform. Reform is necessary. And by reform, I don't just mean fiscal consolidation, I mean reforms that will increase potential output, making labor markets more flexible, making the economy more friendly to entrepreneurship and to incoming direct investments, opening up the economy to competition. These are the reforms that are necessary, whether there is debt restructuring or not.
Em disculpo d'entrada perquè faré una pregunta molt poc sofisticada, per tant em disculpo, no soc economista, però després d'aquestes presentacions que m'han deixat una mica espantat, m'agradaria saber si és imaginable, suposo que no és imaginable, però si vostès em podrien ajudar a imaginar què passaria si no es tornés el deute. Ja sé que les seves presentacions, evidentment, no es tornés res a canvi d'aquestes reformes que ara mateix que s'han anat explicant. És a dir, si es decidís no tornar, me'n podrien explicar què passaria? És imaginable no tornar res del deute i fer unes reformes radicals a canvi? Permeti'm la broma, també molt poc sofisticada, però l'altre dia, ahir vaig anar al dentista i va començar a explicar-me que tenia una dent corcada, que tenia va explicar totes les coses, anava augmentant la factura, totes les coses que calia fer per salvar-la, que es podien extenent, i finalment jo li vaig preguntar, si me la treus? Dius, home, et quedarà un forat, però totes aquestes coses que t'he explicat, que m'han omplert 20 minuts, no faran falta, vull dir, s'ha acabat. Com la senyora Miranda abans deia també en broma que entre Islàndia i Irlanda només hi havia una lletra de diferència, a part de, evidentment, la població i el tamany de la població i de l'economia, però com els no experts ens han explicat o hem vist que els islandesos s'ho plantejaven d'una altra manera, no sé si hi hauria alguna possibilitat d'imaginar-se el no paguem però ens comprometem a fer reformes radicals com les que s'han explicat.
Not paying 340 billion euro in debt will destroy the European banking system. Not paying 50% of that debt will destroy the European banking system. It means that either someone else would have to come in and guarantee the debt or the losses, which again creates a burden for taxpayers and societies, or taxpayers and societies would suffer from not having a source of private sector liquidity and private sector lending. I don't think we're looking at any potential of not repaying the debt. I believe that the debt can be repaid, but it requires radical reform and it requires hard work. And like most observers, it's difficult to see this in some countries. But I think, if I can also just describe a little bit your question in a different way. We talked about the concept of moral hazard this morning. And moral hazard means that if you go into a transaction fully aware of the risks, as a bank or as a lender or whoever, then you are also fully liable for your mistakes or for the inability of your client to repay the loans. So far, the concept of moral hazard has been socialized. So it's not the banks that have been responsible, it is taxpayers. I don't think this is sustainable too much longer unless we're using purely financial engineering and we're relying on credit ratings, which they work now, but they probably won't work 3 or 4 years from now. So I think that Greece and every country have to make an effort to repay as much as they can. I believe it's possible to do. I don't think it's impossible to do. It needs the right combination of policies, a realistic approach. I'm trying to think of a world without private banks. Maybe we would all be better off. I don't know. But I think we should really consider, reform. As Miranda said, we're reforming in order to reduce the public sector expenditure. As I've pointed out, we need Plan B, which is private sector growth, and that is achievable. I'm not, to give you an example, in Greece, we have not had any geophysical exploration for hydrocarbons since the 1970s. But we know there are hydrocarbons there because the geology is exactly the same as the huge fields discovered off Cyprus and off Israel. It's exactly the same geological basin. So we know it's there. So with a little bit of work, the government could tender contracts for exploration and then development. This is a standard procedure. It works everywhere in the world the same way. So I think we should be on this two-track form of development, reduce the public sector or make it as efficient as possible, increase the private sector, as President Mas said yesterday, and try to live within your means. It's not so difficult. I mean, most of us are doing it every day, right? Most of us.